Oh, good morning, everybody. It's Eve Myles with you this Sunday morning on BBC Radio Wales, and I'm here until 11 o'clock. Happy, happy, happy Mother's Day to all you beautiful mummies out there. Hope you're being spoilt rotten. Okay, so on the show this week, we've got comedian Mike Babbins and blogger Samantha Ellis. And I'm so excited to be joined by the most talented, fantastic, beautiful woman that is Charlotte Church. I'm so excited to have her with us today. We've also got the incredible Al Lewis, who's going to be playing live music for us. And we've got some fudge, just for you, Mike Babbins, some fudge. And this is going to come from two mums who came home to Wales to bring up their children.
This is BBC Radio Wales.
Oh, a bit of blondie for all your mums out there. So you are listening to BBC Radio Wales. I'm Eve Myles. I hope you're having a lovely, relaxing morning and that you've got your chops around something flaky. Like a croissant, Mike Babbins, like a croissant. I have lovely Samantha Ellis, who's a blogger with us this week as well. And Charlotte Church.
Hello, my darling.
Hello, welcome.
Thank you very much.
Behave now, right?
I promise.
Behave, right?
Well, you're not a bad influence at all.
No, both of us on here, we might go to a different planet.
Exactly.
How's your week been, guys? Everyone, Sam?
Well, really good.
Yeah.
I've been biding my time as a freelancer, really like taking the plunge, and I've made an Instagram account for my cat. Because obviously that's what I should be doing instead of earning money.
Yes.
And I've fallen down the rabbit hole of these pets who have more engagement and more followers than humans, verified humans. It's been quite funny. And my goal really for my cat is to become an influencer, and so I never have to pay for cat litter again.
Yes.
I think that you're doing a fantastic job, and I think you've made the right move.
Thanks.
Mike?
I've had a weird week. I did a bit of stand-up, yes.
Yeah.
Did some stand-up. First time in a while.
Funny stuff.
Funny stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
And what else did I do? I did a favour of a friend. I did the stadium announcing for the Wales versus Japan Under-19 game at the Arms Park last
That
week.
must have been good.
Yeah, it was great. But they were nice boys. Good game of rugby, 31-29 Wales won.
Well done you.
Thank you.
Charlotte?
I've had a wonderful week. I have been busy having loads of meetings and going to some different schools because I'm trying to set up a school in South Wales.
Can't wait to talk to you about that later on.
And I've been doing a lot of gardening.
Oh, nice.
I've been preparing my allotment and sowing some seeds.
Oh, mate, what are you growing?
I'm growing some kale.
Yes, you are.
And I'm growing some funky coloured carrots.
You cheek.
Yes. And some Tuscan leaves.
Oh, sounds good.
Yeah, so we've got a lot going on.
Well, if you've got anything left over, come round to mine.
Absolutely.
Chuck some of your Tuscan leaves to my face.
Okay.
All right then. Here's some journey. Enjoy. Come on, guys. Put your feet up. Have a nice cup of tea now. Ta-da! I enjoyed that. Well, I'm very, very pleased to tell you all that I have the lovely Charlotte Church with us in the studio today, and I want to know all about this forest bathing, please.
Oh, forest bathing. So, at the start of this year, 2019, I made a load of New Year's resolutions. Not really necessarily New Year's resolutions. I just thought, you know what, I'm going to sort my stuff out.
I read a really fantastic article of yours, actually, in The Guardian. I believe it was in The Guardian, is that right?
Yeah.
Where you'd said that you'd kind of had enough of the hangxiety. I love the hangxiety.
Totally.
That's a great way to describe it.
Yeah, totally.
So you'd had enough of it and you wanted a big change.
Yeah, and it was more just like, I don't know, just the weekly drinking, waking up on a Sunday and feeling gross and, anxious and all of this sort of stuff. And I just started to change a couple of patterns of behaviour, and just things like in the weekdays, I wake up at 6 now and I either go swimming or I go forest bathing, and I go walking in the forest by me. And forest bathing is essentially a walk in the woods, which is what everybody says. Forest bathing, what's that? It's a bath in the forest. But it's more...
Who is this personality in my life? It's hilarious.
From LA. Can't believe you're having a bath in the forest. So weird. No, not quite. The woods in Wales are full of them. It's weird. No, but it's all about sort of mindfully being in the forest and really noticing the growth, how things are changing, the wildlife, the nature, the ferns, maybe doing a bit of foraging, what you can find to eat. But also there's little microorganisms which are in the forest, which, get into your system, which really boost your microbiome and your immune system. So it's really, really good for us.
Do you see anyone else there when you're bathing?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's lots of other people who are out walking their dogs, and I mean it's pretty quiet at that time in the morning.
Yeah,
I imagine it's beautifully peaceful.
It's lush.
And it's your time.
Totally. And I'm not really one for solitude. I've never craved it. I've never really known what it was. I had kids quite young, so I've had a busy time of life in general. But actually, as you get older, it's really precious, isn't it? That little bit of time, that little bit of solitude.
It is. It sets you up for the day, I would imagine.
Absolutely. So I really appreciate it now. So yeah, get on it, ladies and gentlemen. Forest bathing.
So why bathing? It's just you bathing yourself in nature.
Basically. But it's a Japanese practice called shirin-yoku in Japanese. And it like in Japan it's prescribed.
Really?
Yeah, it's a sort of medicine. Like they're super duper into it, and there's all sorts of groups that you can join. So it's a really big deal in Japan.
I get it. I absolutely understand it, and I believe in this because as soon as I get, stressed or life is getting a little bit heavy or it's a little bit too busy, chaos, or a tax bill has come in, I will always find myself, standing on Barry Beach looking out at sea. I'm feeling myself being actually a very, very small bit of this planet and this earth, and feeling much better for that space and that kind of nature, kind of healing.
And I totally, but I think that different natural spaces give you a different feeling. So for instance, personally, I'm not sure how it is for you, but when I go to the coast and I'm by the sea, I feel quite existential.
Yes.
And you start to feel, how transient and temporary and small we are and those sorts of things. In the forest, I feel it's a bit more enveloping and it's a bit more nurturing in a way.
Yeah, and I think it heightens all your senses.
Yeah.
You start to smell things and you really kind of start to kind of touch things and feel things. Me and the kids, you've got that love. We're so lucky, aren't we, to have so much on our doorstep. We've got
TVs.
TVs and games.
Everything.
Caerphilly Mountain is one of my most favourite places.
Merthyr Mawr for me.
Merthyr Mawr. I love Merthyr Mawr, and the dog and everything loves it. It's just, we're really, really lucky to have these places.
And just big up Porthcurry Park there in Barry.
Yes, Porthcurry Park too.
Beautiful.
Smashing.
So I hope that everybody takes advice and goes out and just takes a bit of time for themselves.
And can we wear like swimwear? I mean, can we wear speedos?
Absolutely.
No, you came in here last week with your belly hanging out.
I know.
Wouldn't you want to go now? That's not the kind of bathing we're talking about.
I just see myself in a pair of speedos rolling around the bracken, and it's quite relaxing.
With lovely imagery from you there, Michael. Thank you.
I'm going to bring some speedos in for you next week, and I'm going to kick you into a forest.
Keep talking.
I am interested in the rules of forest bathing, though. Are you allowed to document it on social, or is that just a no-no? That's not very mindful then, I guess.
I think that obviously that would take you out of the moment and into the self as well, into the ego maybe a bit, which might be slightly. But however, that's the modern world. However you need to do it, as long as you're there.
Exactly.
Take one photo, post it, and then put it away.
Yeah. Exactly.
Hashtag, and then you're done.
Yeah.
I want to wish you a lovely, happy Mother's Day, Charlotte. But I've got so much more to chat to you. But I'd like to get your track, something that reminds you of your childhood and what it means to you.
I think I'd like to go for Ain't Nobody, Chaka Khan.
Oh, nice. Chaka Khan. Yeah.
It just reminds me of my mother. She loves this track and she does some crazy, inappropriate mum dancing to it, which always used to make me really embarrassed.
Well, this is my gift to you.
Thank you. Happy Mother's Day, Mama.
Lovely Charlotte Church, you are a woman who never stands still. You've always got something going on, babe, which is brilliant. And you know what? You've always got something on that's like super, super inspiring.
Oh, thanks.
Like forever. You've always been doing something that inspires others to either follow their dreams or do something new. And I think that, you encourage people to be brave and courageous. So thank you for that.
Lush. Thank you.
No,
That's really, really lovely.
I believe it. So I want to know all about this wonderful, wonderful new venture you've got coming up.
Well, yes. So I'm trying to set up a school in South Wales. And essentially, I think that what I'm really interested in is children's rights. And I think that we, as a society, don't listen to children, and I think that we need to, because actually we, as adults, for however long, for the past couple of 100 years, have done a pretty shoddy job at managing the planet and each other, and and I think it's their future, and I think that education, the way that we educate, should really be relevant to the real world, because more children have got access to the internet and social media and the smartphones. I think that the artificial environment of school, more and more children are just refusing.
Yes.
They're saying it's got no relevance to my life, and actually I'm not very good at this specific thing, and by forcing me to do it, it's making me feel bad about myself.
Yes.
And I think we're seeing that left, right and centre. This isn't about teachers. I've met some incredible teachers. I've seen some amazing practice in lots of different schools that I've been to all over the country. But it's just about, look, there's some issues now. This system is not working.
The system and the structure
for far too many people. Yes, so the idea is that the children build the school themselves
from scratch.
From scratch, absolutely. That you start seeing everything as an educational process, actually.
But actually, you can't do anything like that without without knowing your maths, without knowing your science,
exactly.
without knowing how to do things like that. So you're actually what you're trying to do is learn. It's that old-fashioned thing. You learn more when you play.
Yeah.
Right? But it's actually about the children of the school taking ownership.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And pride in this.
Taking ownership, taking pride, being able to collaborate, conflict resolution.
Superb.
All sorts. So that's one element of it. Another element of it is democratic education, which means that each child, along with the teachers and whatever adults work in the school, have an equal vote on all matters pertaining to the school. So that might be rules, punishments. So the kids are involved in every aspect of it. So it isn't like a hierarchical system where you've got a teacher saying, well, you can't do that and this is the reason why and here's the punishment. It's always a conversation.
Yes.
So, you're learning.
And you understand it.
Yeah, you're learning all the time. You're learning about fairness, you're learning about what,
consequence also.
Yeah, absolutely. But also, if you're a part of making the rules,
yes,
then the idea is you should be far less likely to break them.
Yeah.
And then also that it's free, because I don't want to create a private school, and that's the most difficult part really, is trying to figure out how we're going to fund it
logistically.
Yeah, it won't be Welsh Government money, and also I think Wales is looking pretty progressive, to be honest. We've got a new curriculum, Successful Futures, which is coming in 2022, which is really looking really progressive and really wonderful and creative actually, if everybody gets on board. But yes, so part of the idea as well is that the kids will help to develop and run their own businesses alongside the school, which starts to help to fund it.
I see.
Yeah.
This sounds like something so creative and fun.
Yeah.
Well, I wish you all the luck in the world, my darling.
You.
And when this all happens and, you have changed the world and changed the face of things and made things better again.
Quite an accolade, isn't it? That's brilliant.
Well, it is. It's huge.
Yeah,
And for
really
your children, for your kids to see you doing this, that's, again, massively inspirational.
Oh, Dan, you're going to make me cry.
I'm going to give you a round of applause, everybody. Come on, my son, it's come off the month. I'm
Stimulating creativity.
Thank you, my darling.
Stick at it, and when the tough times get tough, let them get tough, but there's a light at the end of the tunnel.
Absolutely.
Always.
And if you want a PE teacher?
Yeah, go on.
Okay, so I'm going to play my song today, which reminds me of my childhood, and it's Elkie Brooks, and it's Pearl's a Singer, and this is for all the drunk females in my family.
More from Eve Myles in just a few moments. First, the weather forecast. Cloudy this morning, perhaps.
Good morning, everybody, and a happy Mothering Sunday to all of you out there. This is Eve Myles on BBC Radio Wales. Thank you so much for your lovely company today. I hope you're being spoilt and just kicking back and enjoying yourselves. We've got a little bit of Marina and the Diamonds coming up, and also we've got some live music from Al Lewis, and he's going to be playing his single Porcelain. But now, as I said, it's Marina and the Diamonds.
This is BBC Radio Wales.
You've been acting off.
I'm just going to share something with you out there. Mike Bubbins is showing me pictures here of his pub.
Yes.
That he's built in his garden.
Yeah.
It's an amazing pub. It's like all the pubs have been Cwm Torcha, Abercref. It's like the proper 70s pub.
It is a proper 70s pub. That's what it
Can I
looks
come?
like. Yeah, anytime I like.
What will you make me?
What do you want? You've got a
Cocktail.
bit- Cocktail?
Yeah. A 70s cocktail.
What,
like a
what,
Del
what
Boy
part of
one.
Cwm Torcha are you drinking in?
Lower.
I'm gin and tonic.
Oh, that would be lovely. Thank you very much.
No problem.
Why have you done it?
Because when my wife got pregnant the first time with our
You
son,
built a pub?
well, I thought my social life was going to evaporate unless I bring the pub to me.
Oh, that's an outstanding way
Yeah,
to
so I can
think.
stay in but still be in the pub.
And still be in the pub. And people come around and sit there like they're in a pub.
Yeah,
It's an amazing, amazing thing that you've done. I love it.
thank you.
I am coming round.
Yeah, definitely.
Can we have a lock-in?
Yeah, well, there's always a lock-in.
Al, would you come round and
Coming
play
down
in the pub?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, I've just arranged like an event. Samantha, are you going to come round?
Well, yeah, you had me a gin and tonic, so that's fine.
Oh, listen, I'll go behind the bar and everything. I've done that. I put pints. I put a cracking pint.
do you?
Yes.
Okay.
Look at me. Of course I do.
Yeah, of course you do.
There you are. Right. I'm so chuffed that we've got Al Lewis in with us today.
Thank you, Eve. It's nice to be here.
Oh, thank you so much for taking time out and coming in.
No
And
worries.
I'm a huge fan of your music.
Thank
I've
you.
been wanting you in for such a long time.
Thank you very
I'm
much.
so pleased that you're with us. And tell us a little bit about Porcelain that you're going to sing for us.
Yeah, so this is a new project that I've been a part of now for about 18 months. I like to vary it up in the type of music that I make, and Porcelain came about through a partnership with Kayla Painter. She's a electronica artist from Bristol.
Oh, wow.
So the way we've been writing is that she will send me like an electronica track, and then it's my challenge then is to write a song on top of that. So it's taking what I do on an acoustic guitar and putting it in a different world, which is something that's been really interesting for me. Completely new genre of music, but one that has been getting new fans and people who might not necessarily have been aware of me. So it's good.
Would you play us?
Yeah, of
Porcelain?
course. So
That would
this
be
is
great.
how it would sound
Thank you,
if
Al.
sung on acoustic guitar.
Thank you.
Was I ever meant to be a soldier spy, planting seeds across the borderline, forever searching for the answer that I know will never come? We were made of porcelain, suddenly cracks started appearing. We were made of porcelain, suddenly cracks started appearing. And so we chipped away and it lost the meaning. 100 years from now, will they find our trace? Or will we be buried by the sound? The beauty of the pain is healing, in the hope it will come around. But we were made of porcelain, and suddenly cracks started appearing. We were made of porcelain, and suddenly cracks started appearing. And then we chipped away and it lost the meaning. Ooh. We Suddenly cracks started appearing. We were made of porcelain. Suddenly cracks started appearing. We were made of porcelain. Suddenly cracks started appearing. And then we chipped away and it lost the meaning. And then we chipped away and it lost the meaning.
Oh, wow.
I'm sorry, I'm not usually stumped. But
You were
that
talking
was-
about honey on porridge earlier, and that
What
just
a
felt
voice.
like honey to the soul. That was amazing.
Thank
like,
you
so
very much.
lush.
Thank you.
My kids and everything on Mother's Day, and I have lovely presents and I have lovely cards, handmade cards and everything made, but never on Mother's Day have I been serenaded like that. That is one of the most, that was so special.
Thank
Good
you.
one.
Your voice is just so authentic and beautiful.
Thank you.
And you wrote that?
Yeah.
What
So,
inspired you to write that?
the end of a relationship, surprisingly. But I think what I like to try and convey in my songs is that it can be taken in any way. Like it can be taken, like if you lose someone by bereavement, or if you lose someone like in a relationship, or if it's friendship, losing friends. So it's something that I think all of us go through. So
And
yeah,
we
that's
can
why
all
I try.
connect with.
Yeah.
Is it cathartic to you? Is that like a catharsis?
Absolutely, yeah. I think I'm a very shy person, and I find it hard to talk about my emotions. So music is a great way for me to get it all out
A
there.
great tool
Yeah.
to use. It sounds absolutely fantastic.
Thank you.
I wish you all the luck with this.
Cheers.
It's
Thank you.
absolutely delightful.
But I hear some more. I
What
want to hear some more.
a treat. Okay, will you stay and sing a little bit more for us
I
later?
will certainly do that, yes.
And I've got a gig lined up for you already. It's
Exactly.
a small pub, right? It's
Yeah,
a
but-
small place.
And I've
But you-
heard it's not far from where I live, so
it's
it's
not
ideal.
far from where
Choco
you
Cocoa.
live. You'll have free drinks all night.
Hang on. Whoa.
Free drinks all night. There's a tasty barmaid, and he provides scampi in a basket.
I was going to say, are there, scampi fries or
There's
pork
anything,
scratchings?
yes, we'll
Everything.
bring snacks, but thank you so much.
Thanks, you.
And just before you go, who's your inspirations?
So I've got people like a lot of people. Funny, you talk about Mother's Day. A lot of my inspirations come from who my mum used to play on her vinyl. So it'd be like the Eagles, James Taylor, Carole King, and all these people, the great '70s songwriters. They were the people who then sort of fed into what I do.
So I'm going to play you a bit of Carole King for your mum.
I know that's very kind of you. So hopefully mum will listen, and this will get me extra brownie points.
What's your mum called?
Mavanwi.
Mavanwi, you've got a very special boy. You got a friend, Mike Bubbins and Samantha. You got a friend.
Oh, thank you.
I'm right opposite you. Good morning, everybody. It's still Mothering Sunday. I hope it's so nice, and you've got some flowers and some nice food, and you've got a lovely day planned for the rest of the day. Hopefully you'll be having a nice time with your family. That would be so nice. That's what I'm planning on doing anyway.
That's what I'm going to do too.
Yes, it's going to be gorgeous. So, yes, it's me. It's still me, Eve Myles. Yes, and I'm with you this Sunday morning on BBC Radio Wales. Thanks for spending your time with me. And again, happy Mothering Sunday. Well, Mike, what
Eve.
track would you like to pick, and who would you like to dedicate it to?
Well, my mother used to love. I grew up with listening to a lot of country music and Roy Orbison and the Everly Brothers and people like that.
Yes.
Mum loved this song. This is Patsy Cline. So my mum had a terrible voice. She was a lovely mother and a brilliant mum, but an awful singer. But she used to try and sing along with Patsy Cline.
Did she sing a lot at home?
Yeah, too much of anything. I mean, great dancers. Dad and Mum were really good jivers. There was a lot of rock and roll going on. They dance a lot. But I mean, when she was on her own, she'd be singing.
She'd be belting this out.
This was one of her favourites.
Well, this is for you and for your mum.
Yeah, I love you, Mum.
You're listening to BBC Radio Wales. To celebrate Mother's Day, we are reminiscing our own childhood with music, Sam. What's your song, my darling?
Well, Mum, if you're listening, first of all, I have to apologise because I've chosen a song for me.
What's her name? What's her mum's name? If you've chosen one for you.
Kath.
Kath, I'm sorry, love. She's
because-
left you out.
So it's Britney Spears' Baby One More Time, because it was the first single that I ever bought, and she did have to listen to it on repeat, all day, every day, and I think she secretly grew to love it.
Yeah.
So this really reminds me of my childhood and of her being annoyed at me, which in turn she's always reminded of me as well.
Did you do all the dance moves to go with it?
I did, yes, I
Could you
did.
still
My
do them
little
now,
plats.
if I asked you to?
I think I could just about do them now.
So all
yeah.
the way through this, I'm expecting
Yeah,
some moves.
that's fine.
What's
I'll
this
get
nursery
dizzy
rhyme
with
that
it.
scared you?
Oh my gosh, the man called Aiken Drum. So this was a terrifying 80s nursery rhyme. It was on a video that my mum had, and we used to listen to it, and I used to cry when it came on. It was a Scottish nursery rhyme, and he played upon a ladle, and he had a jacket made of good Welsh beef. Not Welsh, just good beef.
Made of beef?
Made of beef, yeah, and he was like jumping up and down and coming closer and closer towards me, and it just freaked me out. His hair was made of spaghetti, his waistcoat was made of crusts of pies. It was just something out of a nightmare. I don't know why it was on the video, but it just used to terrify me, and I've recently watched it again on YouTube, and I can say that it's terrified me again.
Was he from Neath?
We don't trust anyone from Neath. I'm from Port
I've
Talbot.
had many nights out in Neath. I've seen a few of them. Well, okay, well, let's play this. Kath, the reason why she's not giving you a request today is because you've traumatised her as a child. Enjoy some Britney. What do you think of Britney Spears, Al?
I was listening to that song now thinking that takes me back.
Yeah, good?
Yeah.
Good memories?
Yeah, like teenage boy, first crush, Britney Spears in that schoolgirl outfit. I remember thinking, wow, what is
Teenage
this?
girl first crushed.
Thank you for coming back, Lewis. Fantastic. Where are you gigging next?
So I will be at the Eisteddfod yr Urdd, which is this year is going to be in Cardiff Bay.
Yeah.
And they're having a little stage there in the foyer of the Millennium Centre. So I think it's the bank holiday weekend. And so I'll be playing there for all the Welsh language children.
And will you
and
tell...
adults and parents if they want to turn up as well.
Well, after listening to you today, I'm sure it'll be a packed house. Would you like to tell my listeners your website?
Yeah, so I'm at allewismusic.com, and I'm also on all the usual socials and Facebook and Twitter and all that. So,
all your
plenty of
upcoming
places.
things will all be on there.
They are all up there, and all my albums, which are available to download or to purchase physically still, if people are still interested in buying CDs.
Please
and
do that.
and
Please
vinyl.
do that.
On vinyl as well.
Yeah,
wow.
I've got an album on
I'm going to do
vinyl.
that. I'm doing
lovely. There you go, look.
Got one sale.
that. One second.
What are you going to play for us next?
So I'm going to play a song off my last Welsh language album, which came out last year, and this is originally a duet that I did with the very talented Kizzy Crawford.
Yeah, we had Kizzy in on the first week.
You've had Kizzy in?
Yeah, we've had Kizzy
there we
in.
go.
Yeah, I had her actually, she came on to the last year when I had the show. But she, a lot of people don't realise that Kizzy does a lot of acting as well. She did the first series of Keeping Faith with us.
Of course, yes.
Yeah, she played the police officer. So that's how I was introduced. And then she was in one of the little trucks and she started playing.
Oh, nice.
And I kind of, I don't know if you remember, you're too young, but remember the Bisto advert? And that kind of thing came under their nose and you just started to waft and go closer to it and closer to it. And that was like her tunes and her music was coming out of the van, and I kind of was drawn to it. And there was Kizzy playing around. So you work with Kizzy a lot.
Yeah, so we wrote a song together sort of back end of last year, and I really loved it, and I said to her, would you mind if I recorded it, and would you sing on it? Oh, wow. And so yeah, we did that, and it got really well received, and so I thought I would sing it now for your listeners.
Thank you.
It's called Dianc o'r Diafol, which means escaping from your devils. Wrth i mi edrych draw dros y ddinas, dwi'n sylwi ar y niwl mwy na'r hael. Mae'n adlewyrchiad da, ond heimlad I os ar had, ond y gariad di sy'n fy nhywys I. Mae dy gariad di yn fy nhywys I. Gwres y tan yn anodd i'w reoli, cyffylau gwyllt yn annog fi I sylweddoli dy gysur sydd yn cadw fi yn gyson. fyddai byth yn diancordiafo. Helpa fi diancordiafo. Helpa fi diancordiafo. Mae goliad ar dre yn disgleirio. Mae sŵn o'r lawenydd ym mhob man. Dwi'n ceisio cymryd rhan, ond mae'n beryg wrth y fflam heb dy gariad di. Be sy'n hywys i? Heb dy gariad di. Be sy'n hywys i? Gwres y tan yn anodd i'w reoli. Cyffylau gwyllt yn annog fi i sylweddoli. Dy gysur sydd yn cadw fi yn gyson. Fyddai byth yn diancordiafo. Helpa fi diancordiafo. Helpa fi diancordiafo. Mae'n hawdd i deimlo'n ffôl. Mae'n ti yw dy unig gelyn chwytha'r fflam yn ôl. Bregus yw y mwg sy'n dychryn. Mae'n hawdd i deimlo'n ffôl. Mae'n ti yw dy unig gelyn. Bregus yw y mwg sy'n dychryn. Gwres y tan yn anodd i'w reoli. Ffylau gwyllt yn annog fi i sylweddoli. Dy gysur sydd yn cadw fi yn gyson. Fyddai byth yn diancordiafo. Helpa fi diancordiafo. Helpa fi diancordiafo. Helpa fi diancordiafo. Helpa fi diancordiafo.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Beautiful. Just before you go, I'm always really interested in advice people like yourself give to new people who are considering writing their own stuff or being brave and picking up a guitar for the first time. What's the advice that you'd give?
I think if I was talking to somebody at the beginning of that journey, like you said, I would say, don't be afraid to write bad songs. And I know that might sound silly, but I think when you're starting, or even me now, you know, and I've been doing this for over 10 years, I still write bad songs. And I think there's nothing wrong in doing that, and it helps you reach the good stuff. Mm-hmm. It's like I use like the mining analogy, and you're mining in order to get at those gems that will last you for your career. And I think, yeah, keep on writing, write as much as you can, and also gig as much as you can, because the voice is a muscle like anything else, and it needs to be trained and rehearsed. And so, yeah, do those things, work hard, and hopefully then doors will begin to open.
Lewis, thank you very, very, very much.
Thanks, Eve.
Diolch, Carole.
What a brilliant Sunday morning it is so far. We've got plenty coming up, some delicious food, fudge in fact, but I've got to say bye-bye now to Mike Beautiful Belly Bubbins.
Oh, thank you very much, Eve.
You've got to go now and do Mother
I'm going
and
to look
Sunday
after
things.
the mother of my children for Mother and Sunday.
Well, go, flee. I release you.
I'm going to make a nice lunch.
Have a lovely time.
Thank you very much.
I think what you're actually doing is you're going to go home, get those Speedos on, and you're going to go a little bit forest bathing, aren't you?
Well, there's another treat for us. Just a different sort of treat.
I'm just going to close my eyes and think of that for a while. Enjoy the next track. Now that Mike Bubbins is gone, I don't think he realised that I played Flashdance for him as he left. I mean, you can imagine, can't you?
En route to the forest.
Yes, en route to his forest. Well, this morning we've got a few sweet treats for the difference. Catherine and Rita are two friends who both left London to come home to Wales to bring up the children. Last November they set up fudge pots, but it's fudge infused with Bengali flavours. First of all, Catherine and Rita, welcome to my show.
Oh, hello.
Thank you so much for coming in. Now then, tell us a little bit about this Bengali influence. that you have in the fudge. Tell us how it all started.
Well, it came from Rita's father, really, I suppose, because he's from Calcutta, isn't he? My family had an amazing recipe for Welsh fudge, which is fine as far as it goes, but people want something a bit different these days.
And there's a little bit of history about that, isn't it? About the actual recipe that...
Oh, yes. I mean, my parents ran a very successful fudge business in the 1980s, and at one point we were actually exporting to France, which was, very exciting back then.
Yes.
I think I think it was about 1979. They actually paid £1,000, which was an enormous amount of money back then. I mean, absolutely huge.
Yes.
I don't know what the equivalent would be. About £10,000 today.
Possibly, yes.
For this fantastic recipe, which we're not going to give anyone.
I'll let you all know later. Okay, when they've left, listeners, I'm going to let you know because you're my friends. I'm going to tell you all exactly what they've put in there.
It has some secret elements in it, and it seemed like a very good idea once Rita realised that my family actually had this incredibly expensive old recipe.
Wow.
That she should bring her area of expertise
and
to
influences.
It. Because,
yes.
Because Rita's grown up with Bengali cuisine.
We wanted to do a collaboration between us. We have for a long, long time, and so we thought something foodie, and we wanted to bring something of each of us to this collaboration. So Kat's bringing the old family Welsh recipe, and then
which I will get. Yes. And I will tell you all.
And it just seemed like the right thing to do, to spice it up and make it a bit more funky and interesting and redefine fudge for this generation.
What did you ladies do before you did this collaboration?
Well, we both worked in publishing. I mean, we met a hideous amount of time ago. I think we've known each other for nearly 20 years now. Wow. We were both editors on scientific magazines in London for... I worked for about 17 years, Rita, not quite so long. And
I mean, this couldn't be more different to
what
your history is.
So to focus on this, I recently gave up my freelancing for a cardiology journal.
Oh, wow.
Well, so it's a big change,
these
but
are
it's
the
a good
things we
change.
do for fudge,
yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
This is what we do. Tell us what's in the fudge then. What's the, what's the actual spices that you use that makes this so unique and authentic?
Well, so the key thing I would say is this Bengali 5-spice, which is a mix of 5 spices, which traditionally in Bengali food would be used as a base for savoury curries.
Yes.
Mainly with meat and things like that.
Yes. You've brought an array of different types of fudge in here. There's I heard you when you came in,
there's lots of it.
Vegan fudge?
Yeah, we've got vegan fudge.
I have to admit I've started eating it.
Already?
I am quite looking forward to a half an hour to stuff my face.
myself.
Yeah, so with the vegan fudges, we wanted to create something entirely new, but that satisfies people who want to eat dairy-free.
Yeah.
But so instead of just making the flavours that we'd already developed and then doing them with a vegan-based fudge, we've tried to develop something new. So each flavour is a flavour in its own right. It doesn't really matter whether it's vegan or whether it's got the dairy in it. So this is the one that I did most recently. It's called Choco Cocoa. So instead of butter and milk, it has coconut butter and coconut milk and chocolate.
I'm going to have it. It's another Sunday.
That's the one I've already eaten.
Oh, it's very Moorish, so eat some more.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
I mean, that's my favourite. It's like an incredibly superior bounty bar. I do think that Rita's really hit the spot with that one.
Kind of works on
That's fantastic.
It's an ultimate comfort food, I think.
Oh, it just kind of melts in the mouth. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Where can everybody find you? How can we find out more about your business? And are you set up somewhere, or are you intending to set up somewhere?
No, so at the moment we are mainly selling at food events or farmers markets, but this week we just launched our website.
Oh, let's have the website, please, ladies.
So it's www.fudgepots.co.uk.
Right.
And in the fullness of time, but hopefully very soon this month, we'll be launching our online shop. So, so you don't, so then for people who can't make it to the events, which are local, they can find us online.
And you do all different types of spices and a variety of things.
So we're developing all the time, but at the moment our key flavours are
We have more than one range, don't we? We do have all the spice fudges that Rita's developed. We've got the patch on, which is really the full-on curry flavoured fudge, which is quite quite extreme, but it's lovely.
Listen, you're talking to a lady here whose Twitter heading is "I can eat my own weight in curry."
It's a little bit like the ideas that people have had with chili chocolate and salted caramel.
Yes.
They sounded a little odd at first, like, why on earth would you put salt in toffee? But it's absolutely delicious. Yeah. But just in case there are some people who do find the idea a little bit daunting, we've just got a couple of traditional Welsh flavours of fudge. We've got vanilla, and we've got chocolate, and we've got a ginger fudge, which actually is spiced, but it's a bit different because instead of Indian spices, it's got British Christmas cake type spices.
And
cinnamon and nutmeg and
do you
cloves
make all of
and
this
things like
fudge at home?
Yes.
It's all from home.
It's all handmade.
Your kitchen must be incredible.
Yeah.
What do your children think of
Our
this?
children
they love
are
it.
so ecstatic with these developments.
Absolutely, they are.
We don't
They're
want to have to go
positioning
outside.
themselves as the key tasters.
Yeah.
Best mummies in the world.
They are my son informed me he's only 10. He informed me that they are the experimental tasting core.
He is mad for the fudge, isn't he?
What do you do with the fudge that doesn't make the cut? I mean, can I have some? Or?
Well, so it's like hardly any of it doesn't make the cut.
Oh,
but
wow,
when you
good.
literally
Yeah.
cut it
Yes,
into
yeah.
pieces, bits come off,
yeah.
and then the little hands come.
I can genuinely say it's not like anything I've ever tasted shop bought.
No, it isn't.
I mean, there's a real kind of uniqueness and authenticity to it, and I would imagine they make great gifts. So thank you so much, ladies.
Oh no, thank you
for
Eve.
coming in on Mothering Sunday
Thank you very much.
bringing
Thank you
these
for
beautiful
having us.
treats in. And I wish you luck
You're
and much
welcome.
love with your venture. Well, unfortunately, that's all we've got time for on this Mothering Sunday. I hope you have a beautiful, beautiful rest of the day. I'd like to thank Samantha Ellis, Mike Babbins, although he's gone and is a loser, a fantastic Charlotte Church, Al Lewis, Catherine and Rita from Fudge Pots. Thank you so much for being my guests. This has been a 16 Media production for BBC Radio Wales and Owen's on next, so stay tuned. I'll be back live at 9:30 next week. Have a fabulous Mother's Day. Ta-da! Love you.